Okay, welcome everyone to the 2020 AGM of Pilgrims Football Club. The process for this meeting will be that there will be a slideshow on the screen. We also have myself, George Head, Simon Strickson, Stuart Hills, Sophie Reed, Shona Bailey, Chris Hines, Jamie Smith, Carl Lowry, and we also have Stuart Kingsnorth joining us and Lee Morehouse joining us shortly. So all the club committee in attendance. So I'll pass over to Chris Hines to welcome you all in.
Yeah, welcome everyone. Thanks for attending the AGM. Obviously important in the club's running, so need to make sure that we get it all sort of dealt with today as efficiently as possible. Obviously welcome input from anyone who feels it's relevant to that particular point, so please don't be afraid to chip in. And I'll go through my chairman's report a little bit later. Thank you.
Okay, apologies for absence. We've only received apologies from Charlie King, and like I said previously, Stuart Kingsnorth and Lee Morehouse will join us. First item on the agenda for approval of minutes of 2019 AGM. These have been sent out to the trustees. So could I have a proposer and seconder to approve the minutes of 2019?
Yeah, I'm happy to propose the minutes.
Okay, so that's Chris Hines has proposed. Could I have a seconder?
I'll second them.
Stuart Hill's minutes. Okay, so next item on the agenda is change of structure and approval of policies. So this change of structure incorporates the youth section and the adult section becoming two separate football clubs under one umbrella, as it were. So that's the youth section is not subsidising the men's section, which we think is a very key element of what is at the club. So it shouldn't be that the kids' fees are subsidising adult football. It should be self-sufficient and be self-sustainable. So as part of this, myself and the committee have had numerous conversations regarding this. So the new structure we're looking at, just allow that to go on the screen, is so we have the group, the 5 trustees remain the same as they are, and the youth football club will separate from the adult football club, or the vice versa, and be creating 2 separate clubs under one umbrella. As part of this, my role as club secretary of the youth section has come to an end, but we're in capable hands with George Head taking over the reins there. I will step into the adult club secretary and also be appointed as chief operating officer. That is means that I'll be overseeing the work that the committees do, reporting to the board of trustees, and more the day-to-day running of the club rather than the football element on the youth side. Just a few words really from me. I mean, I've been club secretary since May 2017. In this time, there have been many changes for youth football and the club, as it were. It's been extremely rewarding to be able to take the club forward, the youth section forwards in the time that I've been appointed. I'd just like to thank every player, parent, club official for their support and hard work. Definitely without you all, it wouldn't have been possible. Well, my work would have been a lot harder. So again, thank you for that. So as long as everyone is happy, could I get a proposer from the trustees to accept the change of structure for the 20?
Yeah, I'll propose that, yeah.
21 and beyond. So Jamie Smith will propose that. Could I have a seconder?
I'm happy to second that.
Right. Stuart Hills for the seconder for that. Okay, so thank you very much. And on to the next item on the agenda. So this is approval of policies. Policies have been circulated again to the committee and the trustees, who again will vote on these. So the first one up is the Pilgrims FC Adult Football Club, Pilgrims Adult Football Club. This is the new rules and regulations for that club. It is the same as our rules and regulations now, although the names have been altered. It is the same document. So could I get a proposer to propose this policy, please?
Yeah, I'll propose that.
Okay, so Stuart Hill's proposed. Seconder, please.
Second that.
Simon Strickson. Next policy is the rules and regulations of the youth teams. again, this is the same document that has already been in place, but because of it becoming a separate club, we need to approve this again. So could I get a proposal, please?
Yeah, I'm happy.
Okay, George, and could I get a seconder, sorry?
Yeah,
Second that.
there's a few of us.
Shona. And then the next policy is the Safeguarding Children aged 16 to 17 policy. This was created in January 2020. Although it has not been adopted yet, the policy is in place. So could I get this officially approved? Could we get a proposer, please?
Yeah.
So, Shona, seconder.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Amy Smith, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Next one up is the Pilgrims the Pilgrims Youth FC photography policy. This again has already been in place, but due to separation, we need to approve it again. So could we get a proposer?
Yeah,
Okay, that's Chris, and the seconder.
I'll do that.
Yep, Shona. Next one is the mission statement for the Pilgrims Football Club group. Again, could I get a proposer?
Yeah.
George, seconder.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Chris. Hey, this is the Pilgrims Football Club normal operating procedures and emergency action plan. This plan or this policy identifies what would happen in a disaster situation, such as terrorist attack or any sort of assault or some sort of outbreak of disaster. So again, could I get a proposer for this?
Yeah, I'll propose that.
Stuart, and a seconder.
yeah,
Chris. This is the health and safety guide. This has already been in place. It just needs reapproving. So I get a proposer.
I'll propose that.
Sophie, and a seconder.
Yep.
I'll second that.
Simon. Okay. So that's the end of the policies that need to be adopted. So we go back to the agenda. And then it comes down to the chairman's report. We will keep reports abridged, as previously discussed in our meetings. The full annual report will be available from around June time.
Have we got to do the election of the executive first, or?
Apologies. Yes. Yeah. Sorry, I completely skipped that. So yeah, the election of executive club and club committee. So the 5 trustees are non-elected roles, and therefore remain in office until resignation or death. So the first the first position to elect on the executive committee is club chair, and I'd like to propose Chris Hines. Could I get a seconder, please?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Simon. Okay, and then next one is vice chair. Again, I'd like to propose Jamie Smith. Could I get a seconder?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Stuart. Okay, the next role is the club secretary of the youth section. I would like to propose George Head. Could I get a seconder?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Okay, we go Jamie. Club secretary adults, I cannot propose myself.
No, so I'd like to propose Karen Wilford as the club secretary for the adults. I just need a seconder for that.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Stuart, second that.
Okay, next role is director of football, which is I like to propose Cole Lowry remain in office. Could we get a seconder?
So I'll second that.
Shona. Club treasurer, I'd like to propose Stuart Hills. Could I get
Yeah,
a
I'll
seconder?
Second that.
Thank you. Club welfare officer, Shona Bailey. Could I get a seconder?
Yeah, I'll second that. Yeah.
Jamie. Okay, and we come on to the club committee. So the 3 members that aren't present, so Stuart, Lee, and Charlie, all have said that they're happy to be voted in their absence. So I'd like to propose for as a group, the 3 are put back into the committee. Could I get a seconder?
I'll second them.
Sophie. Okay. Could I get? Another role committee member, Simon Strickson. Could I get a seconder?
Yeah, I'll second
Do
that.
that.
And there's a role of committee member, Sophie Reed. Could I get a second? Okay, as player development officer for the youth section, I'd like to propose Cole Lowry. Could I please get a seconder?
Yeah, I'll second that.
And for the player development officer for the adults, I propose Stuart Kingsnorth. Could I get a seconder, please?
I'll Yeah, I'll second that. second that.
Now we pass over to the chairman's report.
So I'm not going to go through my chairman's report in massive amount of detail at this stage because it will be published with the rest of the AGM documents anyway. But really, it's just about sort of just summarising the year a bit. And we had a good year to start with, and all the teams are doing really well. And it was a very positive start. Obviously, we've had the COVID-19 situation, which has given the club a lot of challenges, as it has all the individuals and the kids and everybody. I still want to take time to thank all the volunteers though, because without them, the club wouldn't have run the first part of the season. It still wouldn't be running now. So it's really important to make sure that we, thank the volunteers for everything that they're doing. There's a lot of positives that we're doing within the club though to move everything forward, and we've still, excuse the pun, keeping our eye on the ball with that, even though we've not got any football going on at the moment. And I just want us to, thank the sponsors for everything that they've done initially, but just to make sure we've had conversations that we do appreciate that this is a difficult time for everyone. But we do need to continue supporting the club as we go forward and making the right decisions for the kids and what we're trying to do. So just want to sort of say that it's not all negative. We've got a lot of positives moving forward. We've got some good finances in place for the ground and etc. So that's the basis of my report, and it'll be a bit more in depth when I publish it in there with the documents. So thanks everybody. Thanks for everything that you do.
Thanks, Chris. Okay, so that comes on to the Secretary's report, which is obviously myself. This year has been one of balance, I guess. You look at the first part of the season, we probably had a good month of football before all the rain came and the COVID-19. So not a massive amount of football played this season, but yet we've managed to create some great experiences, especially for sort of the younger members that have come in the new season. So like our under 7s and under 8s, it's good to see that we're still getting teams of that age group coming through. And that we've seen them enjoy their football through from our tournament end of last season that we brought them into, and they had a fantastic time, and it was a really, really good event. And it seems that it may not be possible for us to host that this year, which is obviously disappointing, but everyone's health and safety obviously comes paramount, and we are guided by the government. Coming from a bad note onto a more positive note, is that we have been successful in being awarded funding for pitch improvements so that we can improve the facilities we provide at Great Chart. The first year that we've received, the first year funds have been received. We're looking to put this into place ASAP. I'm just waiting for a few more companies to come back to me with prices, and then I'll be able to update you all in due course as to when that is going to happen. But I hope to, I'd hope to see it done by July time. And obviously, following on from my earlier message as well about the change of structure, I'd just like to say a big thank you for all the help that George has done as Assistant Club Secretary. His hard work has made, again, my job a lot easier. So by him coming in and taking up a very big role that has relieved the pressure from me, I can't thank him enough, and I wish him all the best in his new role, and I'm sure he'll bring out the very best in the club. So that's the end of my report. So we go into the report, and that's with Carl.
Well, only very briefly, because I haven't had time to actually write anything out really. But obviously, the season ended rather abruptly. But up until that point, I was happy with the way with the new teams coming in, the under 7s and under 8s, both fitting into the club well and enjoying their football, which I thought was a great success. Again, thanks to George with the help for that one, because he helped me set up the under 7s and under 8s and get it off. So thank you, George. And going into next season, obviously a bit difficult to plan at the minute because we don't know when we're going to be able to start training. But we're not looking at adding any extra teams in this season, sticking with what we're doing, sticking with the teams we've got, and sort of just directing all our efforts with them at the minute. And we'll sort of look at extra teams for next season. That's it from me.
Perfect. Thank you, Carl. Okay, now we're going to the Treasurer's report. So I'll hand over to Stuart Hills.
Thank you, Karen. Right, a briefish Treasurer's report this year, in a strange year for lots of reasons. Everybody knows mainly our expenses. We've got advertising and marketing, our affiliation fees to the various leagues, external coaches, kit and equipment is a massive expense for us, referees fees, and then the two really big ones are the rent of the playing field's a great chart, and also the winter training at Ashwood Prep School. The kit and equipment, the playing field rents and the winter training, that probably on its own accounts for something like 70% of our expenditure. And then on the other hand, our income sources, we rely on donations, grants, as Karen's already mentioned, that's a great one for the pitch improvement. Player subs, obviously a huge source of income for us, and sponsorship. And now that we are a charity, we've been a charity for a while, gift aid is a really big thing for us. So please remember when you're signing on and paying your subs to tick that gift aid, because it really is a big thing for us as a charity. It's quite a proportion of our income. So because it's been a funny year, two major losses of income this year. Our summer tournament, which last year was worth 5,000 to us, and our sponsorship for this season just finishing is probably down about 9,000 on the previous season. So just there's 14,000. That leaves a big hole in our finances. But fortunately, we are still in a pretty sound position. But just to give you a very quick idea of the difference just in the last 3 years. So 3 years ago, which was the 17-18 season, our income was 20,000 and our expenses were 20,000. The following year, which was the 18-19 season, we doubled our income, 41,000 for that year, with expenses of something like 35. And then so far this season, the season now drawing to a close, £33,000 of income and £37,000 of expenses. So you can see there's a bit of a shortfall there. But as I just explained, £14,000 worth of income down just from the summer tournament and the sponsorship. So we've got to make all the figures work. Thanks very much to our kit sponsors. Less of them this year, as I said. Jamie with Smith's Plastering, as always. Clive Empson and Everest Inn. So thanks very much to them. We will be approaching our sponsors again, and we need to be making this an ongoing thing. And as far as the next season goes, we've got to assume at the moment that it's going to start as normal. And we're currently just reviewing the subs for youth players and the seniors. And of course, as soon as we know more, we will let you know. Do please pay in online. There's facility on the website to sign on and register your players and pay your subs. Please try and do that online. It's so much easier than check and cash. And if you're struggling, come and talk to us. We can help you, but we can't help you if you don't tell us. So that's me done for another year.
Thank you, Stuart. Just following on from Stuart's report there, as on the screen you'll see now the financial analysis that we've conducted over the last sort of 4 seasons or so. It should be remembered in these figures there is a pitch improvement grant, which obviously the funds are now ring fenced and cannot be used for any other purpose. So we do actually end obviously the season down on income, as Stuart has touched on. So we hope that this will pick up next season, and we hope that we can get more sponsors on board and try and generate more income. But obviously if the economy and the times don't allow that, then that's not possible. So that's the end of that one. So Shona, with the welfare report.
Not really much to report because season was cut short really. Got loads of training done for players, well not players, coaches and managers, and still some to do. But other than that, because of circumstances and same as every year, we're pretty lucky to not really have any issues within the club.
No, we've got some fantastic group of parents and players. So
We
have report on the welfare report for the last 3 years, so that's always good. So we move on to now safeguarding expectations. So these are detailed in our safeguarding children procedures, and that is obviously ensuring that children are collected from training and games, that they are supervised. Whilst yes, the club do have a responsibility and a duty of care, it is preferable, if not we need you there, for parents to be at games, because there are reports we've had from various coaches and managers that parents are taking children to games and then just sort of leaving them there and then coming back. Whilst yes, okay, that is possible. It is not ideal, and especially for the younger age groups, when you're getting into under 16s and then moving forward into next year into under 18s, that's okay. But just wanted to detail that, obviously, that we do have a duty of care, but we prefer you to be there, and I think majority of the time your children would prefer you to be there. So moving on to conduct of parents and carers, again following on from the welfare report, again nothing to report, so we'll move on from that. Thanks for sponsors, Appeal for More. So touching on what Stuart said, sponsorship has been an absolute massive thing for us in terms of sort of the 18-19 season. You could really tell the difference in what the sponsorship meant in terms of what we could provide for people, whereas this year we've struggled, whilst we've had some very committed sponsors that have been with us for a while, and I can't thank them again enough for the generosity to provide everything for our children, kits and all trips, like when we obviously went away and things like that, all the kits that have been sponsored. So again, if there is any capacity for sponsorship from your company, or as you a self-employed individual, please do contact us, because we have packages of all kinds. It doesn't have to be that you stump up a wad of cash and buy a kit. There's advertising opportunities as well. So I do implore you to find out more. Again, thank you to all the volunteers at Pilgrims. We have a fantastic group of people, a fantastic football family who are consistently committed to what they're doing, and they do it with the due care and attention they should. So a big thank you to them. Also a massive thank you to the parents and the players for turning up each week at training and games and getting involved in events and things like that. So it's fantastic to see so many children enjoying their football at Pilgrims from sort of, well, the 2016-17 season, as you'll see, we had 72 players signed on. And for this season, we've had 232 players, which is a 222.22% increase, which is absolutely phenomenal. And yeah, again, thank you all for your support. So moving on to any other business.
2 minutes.
2 minutes, mate.
2 minutes.
Yeah, okay. And so it is almost 8 o'clock. So we'll just sort of ramble, but what we're going to do is we're going to stop for a couple of minutes just to obviously say thank you to all the key workers for all the work they're doing for COVID-19. So yeah, we'll just pause for 2 minutes. Okay, so yeah, welcome back. Again, big thank you to all the key workers that are doing a lot of hard work to keep everyone safe. So yeah, just any other business now. So following on from that and the sponsorship speech we gave, another big massive thank you from obviously last year's presentation and tournament to Motorline and Simon Strickson, who have done a fantastic job in stuff for us. And a fantastic sponsorship package. And I mean, from Motorline's perspective, Simon, what was it like to be involved in that tournament and sponsor that tournament?
No, it's really good actually, because I think there were some reservations initially over, you know, what kind of return would they get from their, you know, their sponsorship. But not only, I think the guys that turned up with the cars, etc., actually wanted to stay, you know, and I think over the course of the weekend they could really sort of sense the spirit of Pilgrims, and to be honest, we're kind of a bit reluctant to go back to work. They would rather sort of stay there, to be honest. From that, we generated, I think, from the numbers I recall, around 33 sales or inquiries, which they converted. So, you know, it was a good return for them. If anything, we made a bit of a, I hate to say, a bit of a small profit from the tournament, which clearly in any climate makes it more encouraging for them to do it again. Obviously, you know, from a scale of the group that we are, you know, there was some, you know, everything's been cut back. However, following on from conversations, and I think from the success of last year, you know, even if it's just awareness that we are involved in the local community, done some massive benefits for us as well. So, you know, we are keen to continue that long-term relationship. Great.
No, thank you again, Simon. And another thank you goes out to Serious Print Group. So obviously back at the earlier part of this year, we suffered some vandalism to our signs outside our ground, and we had quite a few offers of people offering to replace the signs, etc. And I'd like to give a big thank you to all of those, and also to Nick, Michael, and everyone at Serious Print Group who've managed to reproduce our signs free of charge, so we can put them back outside the ground. So again, a big thank you to them.
Thank you.
Is there any other business from anyone else? Okay, so date of next meeting is Thursday, the 6th of May, 2021, for the AGM. So that's everything from us. So again, a big thank you, and thank you for obviously watching this. And if you have any questions, please direct them for the youth section to George, the adult section to me, and sponsors, again, can contact me. All the details are on our website, www.pilgrimsfc.co.uk, and then go to the contact page, and all our details are there. So please do get in touch. Right, well, thank you everyone, and we'll see you soon.